Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kwakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles, bishops, Hakim Akbat, holding on to the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai in this last days and times. Brahmanasha, DC Camp, short lesson for the hopeful elect, and it's always important to always keep your thoughts focused. Okay, it's very, very necessary. So that's one thing you learn about yourself. You always gotta give double honors the proper way. All right, to the elders and apostles of Great Stone, teaching the word of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua in sincerity and in truth. Okay, and that's one important lesson the Lord likes to remind us of, man. When you're coming to serve the Lord, you have to come correct. And that's why the office of the Most High's servant is very, 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 how I say, meticulous, according to specific details, all right? So when you think about the aspect of the Lord requiring a meat offering, all right, this is just one of the commandments the Lord has set before, our forefathers to serve Him in spirit and in truth. You have to go according to the letter. You have to go according to the details set before you. Okay? So it says in Leviticus chapter 2, verse 13, and every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy power to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. Yeah, so you gotta have that salt, spiritual salt, all right, to be acceptable with the Lord, all right. So that's something that I never really thought about before. And when the Lord dropped this topic in my mind sometime last week, I was like, what is going on? Yes, then I realized something serious is necessary because the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai made reference to this. Okay, so the Lord requires that anytime that you have a meat offering, you need to have the salt ready. Okay, the salt must be ready with the sacrifice. Okay, for what you call it, for presentation to the Lord. All right, the consecration and all that stuff. The salt is necessary. Okay, it's very, very necessary for that process to be complete. You can't bring a substandard service to the Lord, a substandard offering. All right. So once you have, butchered the the bullock or the lamb, all right. If it's gonna be your meat offering, you have to have the salt there. You have to season the the meat, all right. And that's a situation that I never really thought about until I looked into this precept, and it just shows you how serious the Lord is with the way things are supposed to be done. Okay, yeah. So hey, woo wee, yeah. It's a terrible thing, man. To offer the wrong sacrifice unto the Lord, and in this ministry, you have to be very, very, very careful that what you're offering to the Lord is acceptable. It's not polluted. It's not lacking. Okay, so you have to look at the interlinear, and you look for the Hebrew word for the word salt. All right, so that's H4417, and you see it right there on the left of the screen. All right, ba malak. Okay, ba malak. That means with salt, all right, or in salt, all right. So let's put that up on the screen so you look at that. You have the ma, the la, and the ka. All right, that's a ch. All right, and that right there, malak, sounds similar to messenger. Sounds similar also to king. All right. So the king and the messenger, they always gotta have that vibration of salt in them. So remember that, man. Yeah, it's very, very necessary. And hey, that's how the Lord set it up. All right. So this is what it says. All right. It says the powder. Okay. It says salt as easily pulverized and dissolved. Okay. Then it talks about salt pit. Yeah. So there's so much that you have to keep, in your mind focused as much as possible. So you see that right there. It says salt for seasoning food. All right. Then it talks about in Job chapter 6, verse 6, offering. So we're going to go to Job chapter 6, verse 6. Let's see what we have there. And look at that. So what does it say? It says, can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg? All right. So the Lord has given us this idea to stick with. All right. The idea of using the salt to add the finishing touches to the meat offering of the Lord. And in our daily lives, we use that salt for taste. And hey, and it's not just the regular sea salt. You also have the rock salt, the Himalayan salts that has some type of special minerals in it, to help your life, have those special benefits to, handle business, as you're upon this earth. Yeah, so this is a very, very intriguing topic, okay, because just read, Job chapter 6, verse 6 again. It says, can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg? Yeah, so the Lord requires a savory sacrifice, a savory offering unto Him. So you have to go according to the plan, no half-ass, service. Okay, the Lord is not looking for lip service; He's looking for complete obedience. All right, complete dedication. So you have to go according to what is specified. And when your doctrine is 100% on point, that means it has the salt in it. Okay, it's not lacking in any department. So that's why the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai brought up that topic about, the salt of the earth. Okay, so just to, speed up a little bit more, look at the book of Ezekiel, chapter 43. All right, pull it up, 43, and then you can read the whole chapter. It just tells you about what you need to do to have a consecration. Okay, so of the altar, the temple, and all that good stuff. So let's see. Yeah, this was all we have to know about how the Lord has said before. Look at all that. The Lord tells you exactly how things are supposed to be constructed. He gives you the measurements. He tells you what you're gonna use for your construction and all that stuff. All right. So I'm gonna go straight and just moving this forward along so you could have a better understanding of what the Lord requests of us. See all those details tells you the reason why, certain things have to be done according to plan for the altar, for the temple. Okay, so Just look at that. Look at that. You know, what you have to sacrifice of a young bullock for sin offering. Say, all right. Okay, then you see the words. Thus shalt thou cleanse and purge it. All right, to cleanse and purge. All right, so this is sin offering. All right, for a whole nation. All right, and then what else do you see? All right. So with the blood of the bullock is for the cleansing. And then it also says what in verse 24. And thou shalt offer them, okay, before the Lord. And the priests shall cast salt upon them, and they shall offer them up for a burnt offering unto the Lord. So it's necessary, because now we are the sacrifice unto the Lord. Okay, so slaying the lamb, slaying the bullock, it's not really gonna change anything, on this side. Now we have to bear our own iniquity. We have to ask for repentance. And how do you work on repentance? You have to adhere to what the Lord has given unto us to do, to preach the gospel the correct way, So that means what you're doing has to be complete. All right, so you gotta have that salt in you. All right, you are the bullock. You are the lamb. All right, you're the sheep. Just like the Passover. Right. So you have to understand. Hebrews chapter 9 verse 22 talks about by the shedding of blood. All right, and once you have the shedding of blood, you still have to have that salt in there. Okay, so and that's the point you have to remember. So if you don't have no salt with the offering, it's not complete. It's not acceptable to the Lord. All right. That's why you have to read Romans chapter 12. So let me just jump real quick, man, because I don't want to take too long. It's a very good topic to look into. So look at this in Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. It says, ye are the salt of the earth. All right, so the earth is not complete without us, okay? And then it says, if the salt have lost its savor, where shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of man. So when the salt is no longer, viable, it can't be called salt anymore. So it's just trash, and it becomes how you call it, sand. If it's not salt, it's sand. Just another impurity that you don't want in your food. All right. So the Lord is saying that, so since we are the salt of the earth, that means the world is nothing without us. And what did Ezra, our forefather Ezra, say to the angel? That the world was made for our sakes. All right. So if the world was made and we're not a part of the plan, it's just another, empty, empty creation of the Lord. But the Lord made sure that He put the salt in there. So what does that mean? The Lord completed His work. Okay, and then He says, the further part says, all right. But if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? So when our people wandered out of the way of understanding, they became like the dead. They became dead. They became like the other nation. All right, blank, blank without special quality. It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of man. Yeah, so you have to understand that what the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua is saying here is very, very, very deep. I didn't really realize it until this special moment. And now you understand what it means, man, to tap into this gospel, and it's something that you cannot avoid. All right, because when you come to this ministry, you just look at things at a simple level, but the more the Lord opens up your mind and you're receptive to it, you see exactly what the Lord Amashak Yahushai was talking about. You have a better understanding of the law, statutes, and commandments. You get a glimpse of what the Lord was communicating, all right, to our forefather Moses, all right. So these things our forefather Moses knew. He knew it, all right. So how can you prove that he knew it? How was his countenance? He was glowing. He had a perfect understanding of why the laws were written and the meaning behind it. The hidden meaning. All right, the dark sayings. Okay, and that's what the wisdom of the Lord does to you. All right, He goes into the dark corners of your mind and shines a light into it, and the result is remarkable. All right, so I'll pull up Romans chapter 12, and then you see exactly. Look this up. All right. So it says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, Shemashah, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, all right, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service. So the sacrifice requires all the necessary ingredients, okay? So you have the oil, you have the salt, and hey, you got the fire to take care of business. So you have to go through those, I say those avenues, of the Lord's commandments to please Him, all right, to conform to His image, all right. So that's how the Lord, proves us, okay, and then that's the whole idea. Your reasonable service, okay. You have to make yourself a living sacrifice to be considered acceptable unto the Lord, all right. And it's not just a one-time a day thing, man. It's a constant, round the clock, round the clock, round the clock, round the clock situation that you have to focus yourself upon, attach yourself to. It's basically your foundation, your core belief. All right. So just to wrap this up, go to the book of Colossians chapter 4 and look at verse 5 and 6. It says, walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. So whatever he's saying has to be unique and on point. It has to be complete. All right, no half-ass explanation, and that's the whole idea. Okay, so your service is the sacrifice. All right, and what you're putting forth out there has to be 100% acceptable to the Lord. All right, before the people, what you're presenting to the people has to be acceptable to the Lord. That's what this ministry is all about, presenting an acceptable doctrine before the people in the presence of the Lord. So that's the point right there, Akim. Salt, salt, salt. Malak. Yeah, that's something we all need to look into, and you'll be surprised how deep and in the range of this topic. All right, Bashim Al Shai, Bashim Kakadash, Shalom.